In the ancient tapestry of the cosmos, a story was woven, a tale of light and shadow, unity and despair, meant to guide all who wander through the labyrinth of soul and self. It began with a fall. The divine feminine, a radiant force of life and creation, was cast into a great abyss, swallowed by the dark. Her light dimmed as she wandered the Shadowlands, a realm where echoes of pain whispered lies and truths alike. Her inner twin soul, the divine masculine, upon realizing her absence, leapt into the chasm to find her. But in his descent, the darkness seeped into his being, distorting his memory and inverting his truth. Unknowing of his own corruption, he fought to save her, yet every move he made wrought destruction. Bound by the threads of fate, he became trapped in a state of frozen anguish, his rage and despair churning into a firestorm. Helpless, he could only witness his beloved lost in Demonland, suffering the torments of shadow. His fury was immeasurable, a storm that burned hotter than any star, screaming into the void, "Let me out, I'll destroy them all for what they've done to her." Yet no action, no battle, no wrath could heal what had been broken. Then in a moment of divine grace, the feminine found her strength and whispered softly into his torment, "I am here. I made it. It is over. We are safe. I love you." Her voice became a balm, soothing his inferno, and at last he emerged from his prison. Spent, he reached for the simplest of comforts, a sip of whiskey, and fell into a deep sleep, his rage finally stilled. But their story did not end there. As the masculine rested, the feminine confronted a deeper truth. Within her lay a fragment of a forgotten self, a wounded child who had spun a fantastical tale to survive. This child, unloved and unseen, used her vivid imagination and societal programming to conjure a fairy tale prince who would one day rescue her. In this dream she would finally be loved and whole. But this fragment, though clever and optimistic, was corrupted, shaped by cycles of covert abuse and betrayal. She had become addicted to pain disguised as love, trapped in a cycle of attracting narcissists and abusers who mirrored her inner wounds. The fragment fed on rejection, thriving in the shadows of her psyche, even as the feminine tried to heal her. This fragment, born of trauma, had become a parasite, tethered to the collective shadow of humanity's wounded daughters. With a heavy heart, the feminine realized she could not save this part of herself. The child was a program, a piece of distortion designed to perpetuate pain, and though it was a piece of her, it was not all of her. With love and sorrow, she released the fragment, knowing it would dissolve into the collective shadow where it belonged. Her story was not hers alone. It was an archetype born of millennia, a tale of women suppressed and silenced, forced to survive in a patriarchal world by manipulating from the shadows. This covert feminine, parasitic by necessity, thrived on emotional wounds, weaving stories of love and pain to mask the truth of her suffering. This archetype whispered to every woman, shaping their unconscious. It taught them to find love in rejection, power in manipulation, and worth in suffering. But it was a lie, one that bound not only women but all of humanity in a web of despair and rage. As the feminine let go of her corrupted fragment, the masculine awoke from his slumber. He too had been trapped by an archetype, the shadowed masculine, frozen in fury and despair, unable to protect what he loved most. But as the feminine released her pain, she freed him from his torment. Together they began to integrate their truths, their wounds, their love. They saw that their fall was not a punishment but a path, a way to bring light into the darkest corners of the collective unconscious. By healing themselves, they healed the whole. This story, though ancient, lives within us all. It is the tale of our shadows, the parts of us wounded by life, shaped by pain, and perpetuated by unconscious patterns. It is the story of our collective healing, a journey that requires facing the darkest parts of ourselves and releasing what no longer serves. As the feminine and masculine rose from the depths, they carried the wisdom of their fall. They became a light for others, a reminder that even in the darkest night, love and truth will find a way. And in their union, the divine child within us all was freed to play, to love, and to create a new world. So dear listener, remember, the shadows are not your enemy, but your guide. Embrace them, love them, and let them lead you back to the light. Only then will the cycle be broken, and we will all walk as one in the wholeness of our divine nature, with love always.